আমার সোনার বাংলা, আমি তোমায় ভালোবাসি। First of all, thank you for giving me this floor to speak about our country named Bangladesh. It's a great honor for me to represent my country. I am Siam, previously worked as an IT officer at AB Bank Limited, now going to USN for pursuing my higher studies at Konsberg campus. Me and my group mate, we will tell you about our motherland named Bangladesh, which is the country of greenery, the country of agricultural, and number one for export garments product. Before going to next slide, I have to tell something about my country's flag. It has two colors, one is red and another one is green. The green represents our country's greenery and the red represents that our country's people sacrifice their lives for independing our country. Well, many of my fellow friends may not know where my country is. So at the beginning, I would like to show the location of my country. Bangladesh is surrounded by India on three sides and other side is Bay of Bengal. It is 26th smallest country in Asia and ranked 94th in the world. It is riverine country located in South Asia, and our country's capital city is Dhaka, which is densely populated, and our country's area is 1,47,610 kilometers square, and it has 8 divisions and 64 districts, and our nearest country is India. And if we see the population growth bar chart, then we can see that gradually our growth rate is increasing. And our estimate population in 2022 is almost 16 million, and our growth rate is 0.95%, and our official language is Bangla. We have the large state cultural heritage and education which taken back around 4014 years, being attracted to our enormous resources, so that the Dutch, Portuguese, British traders started to move to us this place. The East India Company raised in India subcontinent over 2000 years from 1757. After long period in India subcontinent achieved her independence on 1947 from British rulers. In 1947, the greater subcontinent was partitioned to two countries named India and Pakistan based on religious majority. Then the Bengal, now that is popular in Bangladesh, became a part of Pakistan and was named Eastern Pakistan. From the birth of country Pakistan, there was a huge discrimination between the east and west part Pakistan. On 21st February 1952, several people gave their lives for making the Bengali languages as our mother languages. In 1999, the UNESCO declared 21st February as International Mother Language Day. And for making our country independent, we fought, and it took almost 9 months from 26 March to 16 December, and around 3 million people sacrificed their lives. And our independence date is 16 December 1971. Here is some pictures of our country during the independent war. Now we can see the Bangladesh at a glance. Our country's name is People's Republic of Bangladesh, and our area is 1,47,610 km, and our capital is Dhaka. And in our country, mostly we are Muslims, but also Hindu, Christians, and other religions are also there. And our official languages is Bengali, and our standard time is +6 hours. And our national anthem is Amar Sonar Bangla, that was sung by me in earlier. It was written one of the greatest poet named Rabindranath Tagore. And our national animal's name is Royal Bengal Tiger, and bird is the magpie robin, and fish is hilsa, and flower is white water lily, fruit is jackfruit, sport is kabaddi, etc. So this is end of my part. So my next groupmate Ataur Bhai will discuss further about this presentation.
Thank you, Shahid, for your nice presentation. Yeah. So, Shahid, please continue this slide. And today, now I am going to talk about our economy. And Bangladesh is the fastest growing economy in the world, and we have a consistent growth in economy. We are mainly agriculture-based country, but there are other major sectors where we can develop a lot, and that all contributing to our economy, and we are developing our infrastructure, our education, our health, and etc. And in this slide, I am talking about a summary of economic history of Bangladesh. Bangladesh was one of the poorest nations during their birth in 1971. From there, we reached lower middle income country in 2015, and we are on track to graduate from the United Nations latest developing country list in 2026. So poverty declined from 43.5% in 1991 to 14.3% in 2016. That indicates how we are developing and how we are going to the peak of the economy. So Bangladesh currency is local currency is Taka, and our fiscal year is 21st July to 30th June of the year, and our GDP is 397 billion. In this slide, I am going to talk about how our economy has developed and how we will be in the market. And in this figure, we can see Bangladesh is set to become the world's 26th largest economy within the next decade. And Bangladesh is 40th largest economy in the world and the second in the South Asia, which is represented by a study of a London-based think tank in 2020. Bangladesh average economic growth in the last 5 years was 7.39%, which is very consistent. And HSBC Bank projected that Bangladesh real GDP will grow by 7.1% per annum up to 2013. So it's a huge achievement for Bangladesh. And if we talk about the top countries by the size of their economy, within 2029, Bangladesh will be the 26th largest economy. And the other countries are US will be the number one, China will be number two, Japan will be number three, and our neighboring country, India, will be number four. In 2014, Bangladesh economy will overtake heavyweight countries such as Hong Kong. That will be 37th in 2020 and 24. Singapore, Denmark, and even the Norway. Hong Kong's economy is currently ranked 35. Singapore will be 37th, Denmark 39th, and Norway's 30th economy in the world. Shwet, can you change the slide? Shohid, can you change the slide? Yes, thank you. In our economy, there are three major sectors that contributes. In this figure, we can see our agriculture is contributing less portion, where our service industry, service sectors contribute most of the amount. It's almost more than half of the total GDP. Our service industry contributes to our total GDP, and the second most contributing sector is industrial sector. So can you change the slide? Okay, in this figure, we can see we are mostly there is no significant difference between import and export. Though there are some a little gap between import and export, as we know, no country can be fully dependent. And in the recent times, we can see how world is suffering because of war between Ukraine and Russia. So we import some goods, some industrial goods, machineries, and some other products from abroad that we assembled, that we modified, and we converted them into our final goods, and then again we export to other countries. So our ready-made garments contributes 84% to our total exports. In the next slide, we can see how what types of products we basically export to other countries. The major items is RMG, and most of our RMG goes to European countries. And there are some other countries, United States, in the second largest country where we basically export our most of the products. And there are other countries where we export our products. So it cannot change the slide. There are some industrial brands we can see. These brands imports their industrial standard products from our country. We are the land of multinational brands. We are the land of the thousands of well-renowned brands. Here we can see that CK, H&M, Bosses, Zara, Gap, Supreme, Lee, and we produce world-class clothes at affordable price. So these industrial brands our country and trusted our people for their products, and these are the brands we are very proud of. And while talking about RMG, it's very important to do some businesses to produce goods and services without harming the environment. So the green RMG is concerned. Our factories are practicing sustainable production in their sector, and they are very efficient in waste management, energy efficiency, and water conservation. So According to the BGMA, still now BGMA is our local authority that guides our RMG sectors, and till now we have 135 lead green garments factories in Bangladesh. So, out of the 10 world's top green factories, we have 9 green factories in our country. So we are very proud that we have developing our RMG sectors in such a way that we are sustainable, we protect our environment, we are trying to produce our RMG that will not impact our planet. These are the import items that we basically we convert into them in final products. That as we are the leading exporter of RMG, we import some textile clothes and textile accessories, machineries, electrical equipments, chemicals and vehicle and aircraft, and other some commodities from India and some other neighboring countries. And in the figure we can see most of our importing items came from Canada, and we import a lot of wheat from them, and there are some other countries like India, Hong Kong and Singapore and European Union also. So the record shows that Bangladesh gonna be 24th largest economy by 2030. That will tell the world that how we have developed from our birth. And as we all know, that Bangladesh is a very young country, and Bangladesh is for 54 years old, and we are developing our agriculture, and our government puts a lot of effort to our infrastructure development. So all of this will help us to move our economy upward. And this is all from me, and our next presenter will continue our presentation. Thank you all.
Thank you, Atul bhai. This is Rafi. Next presentation will be with me. I am presenting you now nature and beauty. We have some good heritage of natural. Cox's Bazar is one of them. It's the longest sea beach. In terms of natural, it's the longest in the world. But in terms of size, it is the fifth in the world. Here you can see many sceneries of them. There is a different types of boats. We call it sampan. Fishermen use these boats to catch fishes from the sea. People around the country enjoys their vacation in the vacation time. Next slide. There is another sea beach. It's called Kuakata. It's the panoramic sea beach, which is 80 kilometers long, and you can see both sunrise and sunset, as it is unobstructed view of the sunrise and sunset. Here we can see red crabs, mainly found in December to January, and it's a very good place for the bachelor trip, especially who is students at the university and colleges. Next slide. Now I am representing you world's largest mangrove forest, which is called Sundarban, and it is 10,000 kilometers long, and mostly it is situated in two countries, India and Bangladesh. But 6,017 kilometers is in Bangladesh area, and the rest of the land is in India. It's a very diversity in species, like 290 birds, 120 types of fishes, 42 mammals, 35 of reptiles and amphibian species, and the Royal Bengal tiger is our national animal. Currently, from the statistics of 2018, about 146 are existing in Sundarban. and you can see deer crossing the rivers. Previous slide, don't change it. And we can see a deer are crossing the river. Actually, it is in dry season, and you can see reptiles. It's a saltwater reptiles. Next slide, please. The next step. Yeah. And we have a very little land, but we have a lot of waterfalls, mostly in the hill area, Nafakum, Amiakum, and Jadipai. It's in the Bandarban, and Hamam and Madhupunda. It's in the northern west part of the Bangladesh. With people also, different age of people, and also from the abroad, come to our country to visit these places, and they enjoy very much. Next slide. Now I'm showing you some pictures of our natural beauties. Mostly there are 500 more than 500 rivers in our country. Currently 213 flowing, mostly at night. But here you can see a lot of rivers and some water lilies and some swamp. People are enjoying. In the middle of below row, in the middle of the portion, you can see our boat, which is actually 3 rivers process in this place. The biggest river, Podna and Meghna, and also a local river called Jakatia. Next slide. Here you can see some pictures of our lakes, natural lakes, and hill areas. From the first one, it's called Boga Lake. It's above 1,000 feet from the sea level, and you can see people are enjoying their times with friends in these places. Next slide. These are some hand pieces from here. On the first picture, top left, you can see a historical mosque. It's called 6-dome mosque, but actually there is one dome in this mosque. It was founded in 15th century. Then from the right of it, you can see the ruins of Buddhist Bihar. It is mainly famous for terracotta sculptures. It's a very expensive and historical sculpture thing. From the left, the corner, you can see Mohaistanbur. Actually it's a city. It was an ancient city from the 1678. Mainly is similar to temple in Cambodia, Thailand, and Myanmar. And the right bottom, previous slide. And the right bottom you can see a building. It's called Cartoon Hall. It was named after the Lord Cartoon. He was English governor from the UK during 200 years ago. Next slide. Here we can see a National Martyr Monuments. It was founded in 1978. It was actually built to show respect, to sacrifice the life to make our country independent from the Pakistan in 1971. From that right, you can see Hassan Mandir. It was founded in 1872. Actually, it is beside the river Buriganga in the capital. In our local language, we call it Nawab. Nawab house. Nawab means prince or some landlords. Then top left, you can see a tomb of Puribi. This actually a tomb of Puribi, who was the daughter of Minister Khan, and it was founded in 1682. And the last one is that this is our Parliament House. Is Mr. Duai Khan was the architecture of that. It was dependent on our culture, heritages. Is representing a summary of our whole country. I am showing you the modern Bangladesh site, Padma Beach. This is 615 kilometers. There is some interesting fact about that. It was inaugurated in 25th century. just a month ago. And this is the longest bridge in Bangladesh and highest oil depth of any beach in the world, 120-meter depth from the under the sea water level. And this is the highest. No other bridges in the world have this kind of depth. And because of this bridge, actually there is a statistics going on that maybe 1.2% GDP will increase in our economy from this year. Next slide. This is Rupur nuclear power plant. This is the first time we are going to build it. It will going to generation in from the first unit, and Russia is helping us to help in this. The capacity of this electrical power plant will be 24,000 megawatts. Next, please. Now I am going to show you that our culture of Bangladesh. We have a good diverse culture in terms of religion, in terms of food, in terms of clothing, many things. Next slide. This is the food. You can see our traditional food. It's called Shorisha Ilish. It's made with rice and items with our national fish, Hoisha, mixed with mustard. And top right, you can see a guy holding a plate, which is called biryani. It is made from rice, aromatic rice, then with mutton, and it's a very famous food. Actually, it was cooking in this country from the part of Mughal ancient time. And from this the two picture, from the left one is a freshwater fish market, and the right one is saltwater fish market. Then we have a lot of fish as we have more rivers and ocean. Next slide. Here we can find some cakes. So in our local language we call it pita. From the first one we can actually eat that as a snacks. Then it's under it another pita. We call it patishapta. It's folded with flour based bread, and there is some mixture of sweets into that. Then we have some another sweets and some sweets and pitas. Actually, this slide is too little to show our foods, sweets and pita. We can show maybe thousands of slides for foods. Next. This is as we are Bengali people, we have a festival called Poila Boishakh. It is actually Bengali calendar year, and Boishakh is the first one of that. There are 12 months in Bengali calendar, and from the first Boishakh, we call it Poila Boishakh, and we enjoy it very much with some colors and many kind of processions. Here you can see a procession of lot of people. We call it Mongol Shobhajatra. It means we have journey to do some good. Next. Here you can see Siam Bhai already told you that our national sports is kabaddi, but actually we have craziness for cricket. I think all European know about the cricket. And Sakib Al Hasan, this guy, Sakib Al Hasan is the number one all-rounder in all types of formats since 10 years in the world, and he is actually representing our country in the top level of the world. Next. This is our some traditional dress. Here you can see in the left, couples are roaming around with our traditional dress. The men are wearing Punjabi. This is called Punjabi. It's a long dress, and women are wearing sari. We can see also women wearing sari in the top right. Girls are having some good movements after wearing that, and under that we can see a regular man who is a boatman, and he is wearing a traditional dress called lungi. Next. In terms of religious festival, this is the Eid. This is the focus of Eid. We have mostly Muslims in our country. Almost 95% people of our country is Muslims. So we have Eid al-Adha and Eid al-Fitr, two religious festivals in a year. You maybe know about the fasting. We fast our Muslims. Eid al-Adha is celebrated after fasting, and Eid al-Fitr is also mainly known as in the world Bakra Eid. Next. And another two is Durga Puja and Christmas. The Durga Puja is the religious festivals of Hinduism, and maybe who follows the Hindu, they celebrate it during their celebration time. And we also have some Christians in our country. They celebrate Christmas Day, and in our local language we call it Borodin. Next. Then we have another religion called Buddhism. Maybe it is famous in the southernmost part. We have some their followers in our country. They celebrate their day, and it's called Buddha Purnima. We have some tribal peoples in our country, and from the tribal people, Vijay celebration is the most famous. Next. This is Professor Dr. Muhammad Yunus, who got Nobel Prize at 2006, is mainly known as the banker for the poor. He actually began with the poor people who mainly don't possess a lot of wealth. Then he started to give them some loans. It's called microcredit. After that, he's growing their lifestyle. The poor people become more self-reliant, and for that he got well known and got Nobel Prize in 2006. Next. This is all from us. Just one thing I want to say, maybe people know our country as a country with blast of population, a lot of people, but I want to say that this is not the blast of population, this is the blast of love and affection. Thank you.